So, how many songs have you got down so far for the next album? Or at least
Real down, we've got like 5.
Yeah.
But in the works, we've got probably around 10, and there'll be another. We'll probably have 20 to choose from all together. You know, and then we'll pick the best 9, 10 songs.
Is Chris going to be contributing a few songs?
Yeah. In fact, one of the new tunes that we have pretty much ready to go is called Beat City that he wrote. It's real cool.
And yeah, I talked to the No on Monday, and of course, just to be with them. What exactly happened with Mike?
He has a band called Radio Music, and they're putting things together now. When he left, to me anyway, there was really no other drummer to even think about, because Joe, I think, is the best drummer in town. I mean, just as far as attitude, knows what to play, when to play it, and we knew him.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not like going into business with a stranger. You know, because Joe, we played with him all the time. He was good friends with Chris. They'd known each other for a while. So it was real easy in that way, and he was familiar with the stuff. And he's a great drummer.
Yeah. What was Mike's reason for leaving?
To do his band.
He just wanted to do his own thing.
Yeah. Mike writes a lot of songs, and so does Steve and I. It gets pretty crowded.
Yeah, so he wanted to have a little more room for his own stuff.
In a way, I envy him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool to have your own vehicle.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that about settled that.
Yeah.
Who is the leader, more or less, or is there a leader of the group?
No.
It's just pretty much a democratic outfit.
Very democratic. It has to be.
Yeah. Steve seems to have the most songs and the most vocals, and you're a close second, at least on the album.
Actually, I have more vocals on the album because I sing one of Steve's and one of Mike's songs. But as far as just leadership, we all see things a lot alike. So it's that's one of the strengths of the band, is that we all have a very focused view of what we're trying to do. So there's not really that many decisions.
Yeah. What two songs? Well, 2 songs. I don't know why I said 2, but which songs does Chris sing? Because it seems to me that on the record, at least, him and Steve's voice are really.
No, he doesn't sing any on the record.
He doesn't sing any leads in there? Because he did at the Ramones concert, right?
Yeah.
Which ones did he sing?
There were songs that weren't on the albums. One called New Friends and one called Brainwashed, and then a Beatles song. Yeah. In Your Bird Can Sing.
Okay. Yeah, I thought he sung something on the album. Okay.
I don't think so.
Do you think it's going to be something like? Well, there's a song that Jill did with the No. Was it Get Out of My Way? You going to be recording that?
I don't know. We've worked it out. I don't know if we're recording or not. What it's going to come down to, in a lot of ways, it's cold and cruel, is that we'll do 20 songs and we'll work up as many songs as we can, and that we'll put the best ones on the end. I really like that song. I don't know what's going to happen.
Are you going to be using Earl Mankey again?
No.
How did you like him anyway, as a producer?
At the time, I liked it a whole lot, but now it's not what I want to do. I want a liver album, more band playing on the record, not so much overdubs and distant sounds. But I really, at the time, I really loved what we were doing, and it seemed really right. But it's not right for what we're trying to do now.
Do you have anybody in mind as a producer?
Shit, there's so many people that I want that we can't get,
Yeah.
Like, I really wanted Jimmy Iovine really, really bad. Yeah. But Jimmy Iovine's real expensive, and we just can't, I mean, not to put us down, but we are just 2020, and there is Meatloaf and all these other, platinum-selling acts that want him too. Like he just did this album, this Tom Petty album, and it's genius, So I really wanted him. I really wanted Bruce Bodnick, who did the beat, but there again, he's really good and he's tied up. So there's a shortage, of really good record producers right now. But the real answer is, we're working on a lot of things, but I really probably shouldn't say until they're more definite.
Okay. What do you think about your stage act? Like how it's evolved in the past year or so?
Well, since we went on the road, it really changed a lot. You know, it became more of a four guys playing rock and roll songs. You know, I mean, I'm into stage acts and showbiz and all that, but you know, I don't dig all this. You know, all the old wave shit. You know, of long guitar solos and throwing your hair back and forth. You know, while you're playing and stuff. I like the real direct, excited, powerful approach, and I think that's what we're turning into.
Do you feel like being signed was like just lucky or a privilege, or that you were, one of the more deserving bands?
Well, all of those. Yeah, because we really did work our butt off to get signed, you know, so I think we deserve it, you know, after going through what we went through to do it. But I know we were lucky. I mean, we were very, very lucky. Because now it's a lot harder for bands to get signed because there are lots of them. Lots of really, really good ones. When we first started playing on the scene, there weren't that many really hot bands, you know, because there was the real hardcore new wave thing, and then there was not much else, you know, except for all the, you know, Aerosmith clones and stuff like that. Yeah. Not to put it down.
Sure. Well, what do you think about new wave overall? Like,
I love it. I think it's great. It's being part of it. You know, it's hard to. Like sometimes now I hear stuff from other bands and I never thought I'd get the buzz that I get out of it again. You know, like music in the '70s, I think really started to suck real bad. You know, because I mean in the '70s I was like, you know, there's nothing I could do about it, and I wasn't ready to play yet. You know, I hadn't learned how to do it yet. And lots of people were just like me, you know, in that sense. But now, like the Police put out Message in a Bottle, and it's genius, and it kills me, and I get excited about it, you know. So now there's music coming out that gives me a real big buzz, like the Pretenders.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear that song Kid, and it scares me, you know, that it's so good, and it is. But I mean, there weren't 5 songs during the '70s as good as that song is, you know. There just weren't. You know, whether it sells or not, whether anybody ever hears them or not, it doesn't matter. I mean, the fact is that song is a genius, you know, and it goes beyond. It goes, you know, some of the songs that are coming out now go a long way beyond. What are some of the typical AM songs of the '70s? Smoke on the Water. Yeah. Walk This Way. I mean, those are cool for what they are, but they're not in the class of some of the really great stuff that's coming out. I Don't Like Mondays, you know, fabulous, important record. The new Ramones record, produced by Phil Spector, has a song called, I think it's called Rock and Roll Radio. I just heard part of it on the radio the other day, but it was so good. I mean, so that's what I'm really excited about the new wave, is that the peaks of excellence are much higher than they've been in a long time.
Have you heard the new Linda Ronstadt single? Yeah, it's kind of a new wave thing. She's involved.
Really?
Yeah, it sounded pretty hot.
Well, that'll get on the radio. It's good for business.
Yeah, something like that. So what do you think of The Wait by the Pretenders? Have you heard that?
I haven't heard the whole record yet. I've heard all the singles, of course, a lot.
Well, that was the first single.
I thought Stop Sobbing was the first single.
Yeah, it was the flip side of that.
Oh, I never heard that because, see, I didn't have the singles. I couldn't get them, you know. And I still can't really afford to buy, you know, all the records that I want. And so I just got a promo of the Pretenders, yesterday. And I just heard it through once, but, you know, they have some great fucking songs. I think there's one called Tattoo Boy or something.
Tattooed Love Boys, yeah.
Tattooed Love Boys? Jesus.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I think that was the second single. What about punk? Or like the Sex Pistols and the Clash? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I really like Anarchy in the UK and Holiday in the Sun and Berlin Wall and BMI. No, not Berlin Wall. God Save the Queen. But the rest of the ones on the album, I thought they didn't have, you know, that certain hook, certain something that does some stuff. And the Clash, I like them except when they do reggae. You know?
Yeah.
I don't like that. I mean, I like reggae by by just a few people, and not by, none of them are white, none of them are from England.
Not the police even, except...
The police, that's pretty commercial stuff though,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, yeah, I don't even call that reggae.
Yeah.
I mean, it uses that rhythm, but it's not, you know, it's not like the guts and passion and shit, you know.
White boy reggae.
Yeah. Chris has this song, this is funny, Chris has this song called White Boys Play the Reggae, and one of the verses is, white boys play the reggae in elevator shoes, you know, and there they are, you know, guys in Fomolaris and shit, you know, playing reggae music. It doesn't make sense.
Is do you consider, like, well, there was a lot of like synthesizers on the album, of course. Do you consider that still to be a big part of your sound, or do you still use a lot of that keyboard synthesizer?
You know, I think boy, this sounds terrible, but the truth is, I think the reason why there's a lot of synthesizer on the record is because we just bought it, and it was $5,000, and we'd use it, and it was fun, you know. But what we were really wanting to do is use new noises, you know, new sounds. But we just.
Yeah, it was a synthesizer. You just want to use a lot of new sounds. You just want to make yourself sound a little bit different from like the typical strip to the Bones group, or
Yeah, you know, because we have, you know, we have a lot in common with the minimalistic, you know, type rock and roll bands, but then we go a lot, you know, we go off in another direction too. I don't know whether we really hit the mark on it on the first album. My suspicion is that we didn't, but the next one will come closer, you know, and we'll get closer and closer.
about myself, it was one of my favorite albums of the year. You know, I think I listened to it more than any album I bought last year, actually, but it grows on me. But it's kind of like it had a little bit of a Cars-ish, I can't really say the Cars, but just because of the keyboards, it had a more spacey feel to it, which, I don't know.
Yeah, and the drums are real loud, like the Cars records are too. You know?
I guess that's the thing I got out of it.
Yeah, I think it'll be a bit different on the next record. You know, things will be in a different proportion to each other, you know, a different relation, volume-wise, position-wise.
How is the album doing anyway?
Let's see, we're number 200 on Billboard right now, but we're selling, you know. We've been on the charts for 13 weeks, which is okay, you know. And we sold all right in all the places where we went. We got a lot of airplay and shit. So we got a good start, you know. Everyone keeps telling me we did better than everyone else, but I don't know if it's true. You know, it's hard to say. You know, that the record still sells a little. It doesn't sell like, it's not like the next first album, you know, nowhere near that, but it's respectable, you know, for what it was.
Is there going to be another single from it?
Tell me why. Which, you know, as long as singles keep coming off of it and the record company, you know, doesn't give up on it, that's really all that matters. You know, because you're trying to build a base of supporters, you know, and then the next time out, you know, we should substantially enlarge on that. Because instead of, like when the first album came out, it took us, say, 3 weeks to get to our maximum radio strength, you know, maximum play on the radio. When this second album comes out, bam, we're going to hit that right on the first day. You know, we'll get all those stations probably. And then we'll build from that point, you know, and as soon as the album's out, we'll be there, you know. We'll be there in person with a really killer live act. And it'll be all right. It should work. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
How did Sherry do? How high did it?
Sherry was never really released.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they pressed up a lot of records and stuff, but they never really took it around to the radio stations. They never really serviced it, you know, as a single.
Do you know why?
No.
It seemed like it had a lot of potential.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Pop song, commercially.
This business is a mystery to me still. You know, I don't know why things are done like they are, and maybe there's some divine plan in somebody's mind, but it's confusing to me.
Are you pleased with your contract?
Very. We robbed them. I mean.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean I won't say it like that, but you know, we're not as good, you know, right now as we're gonna be. And I don't know whether they knew that or what, but, you know, we did all right. We did okay. I hope everyone did as good as we did. Because, you know, I still feel like it's basically, and anyone in a record company will tell you this, that as far as the business, you know, just the business side, not the artistic side, it's the groups versus the record company. I mean, because you get your share of the money from them, you know, so it's definitely a opposition type thing. It can be no other way. So I'm on the side of all the bands. In the 80s, I really think that recording artists are going to get together and they'll go, hey, what is this shit, you know? All we got to do is organize a really strong union, and we won't get ripped off anymore, because no one will record. You know, we'll just shut things down and then see what happens. Because that's what everybody else does. Everyone else does it, you know.
Else goes on strike.
Yeah, sure. And believe me, if Linda Ronstadt, Ted Nugent, Aerosmith, the Eagles, Fleetwood Mac, if all of them said, hey, we're not recording anymore, and we're jerking everything we can, we're all going to court against you, what are you going to do? You going to play fair, or are you going to fuck around? It would work.
Yeah.
And it'll happen. It'll happen. Because the new wave, you know, I mean, as you can see how bands react to club owners that fucking around, they won't put up with it. You know, I mean, fuck it. Who needs it?
Punk image off stage too. Don't take any shit.
No. I just mean business-wise. If you bend over for them once, you just better be ready to do it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and we're not gonna. Not when we. You know, we haven't had to. You know, just because we've only done one album and we did just what we wanted to do. But lots of people get ripped off in recording contracts. You know. On the artistic level, the record company's there to support you all the time. I don't know if this is the kind of stuff going on now, but on a business level, it's definitely an adversary type situation.
It's about that. How was the name 2020 come up with, or who chose?
Well, this rock writer named Gary Sprout used to work for Bomp Records and Bomp Magazine. Thought of the name for a band, he just really liked it. And he and Mike are both from Buffalo, our original Mike. So he brought it to Mike, and Mike really flipped for it. He was the one who wanted to go on. Steve and I were kind of, it's pretty weird, you know. But then after a while, when we started realizing the reason why we were objecting to it is because it was kind of taking a chance. That was really all we even thought about was, because all the good things go out on a limb a little bit. You know.
Yeah, it's a unique name, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's different. It's kind of the point.
Yeah. Where are you all from? Like you said, Mike's from.
Yeah, Mike's from Buffalo. Steve and I are from Tulsa. Chris is from Bronx, Brooklyn, that is. And Joe, our new drummer, is from Rhode Island.
A lot of Eastern. Did you all meet up here in LA?
Yeah. Except for Steve and I, we played together since childhood.
How was Tulsa anyway, as far as music and all that?
Zero.
Didn't Tom Petty went through there on his way here, didn't he, more or less?
Well, yeah, he stopped off at Shelter Records and recorded at the church a lot there in Tulsa. And there's not been much to come out of Tulsa.
Dwight Trilley's from there.
Yeah, Dwight, and David Gates, and Leon Russell, and Johnny Bench. It's not like New York and California. It's a very limited music scene.
Did you guys what made you so much different from anybody else there? You just
I don't know. I really don't know.
What music did you listen to, like when you were growing up? Beatles?
A lot of Beatles. Yeah. A lot of Beatles. You know, we were the prime age, 11, 12, 13, you know, when the Beatles came out. And it was, just right for us. But I listened to, I guess, junior high school was really the rock and roll stuff. Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles, Cream, the Stones a lot. I really loved the Stones. In college was David Bowie and Eno and that stuff. As soon as it came out, as soon as I was aware of it, because it was, starting in '71, Jesus Christ, Allman Brothers and all that jam and shit. I never liked it. I couldn't do it. What the hell was that?
Those mats,
Oh.
I think. Well, I can see then where you got the synthesizers, like if you like Eno. Or
Oh,
whatever,
love
what's
Eno.
it?
Got a meeting today.
You are?
Yeah, real excited. I know lots of his songs by heart. I could sing probably 15 of them to him if we want to get to.
Gotta try to remake a cover.
In fact, we used to play, back home, we used to play a song called Miss Shapiro, which is off a live album.
I don't know if I've heard that one.
It's live 901, I think was the name of the record. And then we did Dead Finks Don't
Yeah,
Talk.
I got that album.
And we did Seven Deadly Fins and Babies on Fire.
Yeah.
And then after that, and back there, you know, nobody knew who Eno was,
Yeah.
you know. It was weird.
You like Talking Heads?
Love them, yeah. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, he gets involved in a lot of this. How'd you like to have him for a producer?
I would love it, you know, but I'm not the only guy in the band, you know. Other things, other fellas have to be considered, you know. I don't know, I don't even know if he'd do us. You know? I don't know if he'd get the point or not.
Not at this point.
Yeah.
How are you meeting him? Under what circumstances?
We're going to check out a studio that he's in. And, he's probably going to be there. He might not be there. My luck, he probably won't be there.
Yeah, what do you feel like you're representing the new wave? You're sort of one of the forerunners for all the other groups.
I think almost by definition we are the new wave, you know. I mean, us and an aggregate of maybe 5 or 6 other bands really pretty much are it. You know, I don't know. And you can't really count all the unsigned bands, you know. I mean, there's lots of them out there. And if you count one of them, you got to count all of them. So, you know, national new wave, you know, there's not very many of us really. Like Cheap Trick, you'd even have to include them, the Knack, the Clash, the Yachts, the Boats,
Yeah.
There are a lot of them now, I think.
Well, in England, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, the Sinceros, the Beat,
Yeah.
you know. And us, you know, I guess we pretty much make it up.
Do you feel like you've got a certain responsibility or something like that to make it big or to kind of lead the way for the other LA bands?
Nah, fuck them. Let them do it themselves. Shit, yeah, nobody's doing that for us. Well, only in a sense that people did it for us, like the Cars and the Ramones and Blondie. They were the ones who really broke the ice, and then the Knack, that, you know, they really capitalized on all those people's work. Elvis Costello, Nick Lowe, you know, people who toured in buses and shit, you know, in vans and stuff, and, you know, went to all the little towns and, you know, got everything started. We all owe a lot to them, but they weren't doing it for us, you know.
Yeah.
They were doing it for themselves.
Did you guys tour nationally?
Yeah.
Have you?
We just got
Where did you
back.
get the best response?
New York was really great. Buffalo was really great. Toronto was good. Got good response in almost everywhere. Some places, you know, the record wasn't there and they didn't know who the hell we were. And just 4 guys jumping around on stage singing songs they'd never heard before.
Yeah.
But in lots of places, we've been getting really good play. There were lots of people who knew the record and stuff. We played small clubs, 500-600 seat, you know, places.
Yeah. You're going to continue, obviously. You're going to be the whiskey.
Yeah, well, that's just that's almost just business bullshit. We're playing new songs to impress people, to get money out of them. But I don't know if you ought to print that. But no, that's not part of any tour or anything. It's just business.
Okay.
If I had my way.
A lot of business types are going to be there. Just okay.
But then again, you know, I really want all of our, you know, we probably won't make any money. We'll have a huge guest list. We'll put you on if you want. You know,
Sure.
And just, you know, it'll be a party type thing.
Yeah, I got a lot of friends who they're going to want to go for sure. But anyway.
Yeah.
What about the Ramones? Did they select you guys
influence.
more or less, or? was it
Uh,
arranged some way?
Well, they'd heard us play, and then we approached them. You know, we were looking for a tour, a West Coast tour, and we approached them about letting us play with them on these California dates, and they said okay. You know, we get along real well.
Yeah.
You know, because shit, we've ripped them off floors and coming and going. They know it. We really like them, all of the stuff.
That's good. I guess a lot of times you hear about the headlining act really treating the second row that much.
Oh no, they treated us great. They treated us great. Other places, we were treated like shit, you know, by other people. But that's just showbiz, you know. Like in fact, I guess you'd say we even treated some opening acts like shit though, because you know the headliner, the responsibility for the show is theirs, you know. And if it goes good, then they get the credit. But if it goes bad, they get the blame,
Mm-hmm.
and you know. And it could, it's, you know, 50-50 either way. So, you know, when the headliner comes in, they deserve to take as much time as they want for a sound check. They deserve to have a comfortable dressing room. You know, they deserve to have everything that it takes to make them do the show, you know, make them do the best possible show. So a lot of times the opening acts get slighted. It happened to us a lot, and I'm sure it happened to people who opened for us a lot, because when we got into that position, I didn't, you know, I thought about it, and I said, yeah, I hope they get to do theirs, but we got to do ours. I mean, we just, because we had to.
Did also that Ramones concert at UCLA, that was so I couldn't believe it. You guys started practically 8 o'clock, and it never seems to happen. It's always a half hour, an hour late, and the Ramones were no time wasted between sets. How was it so tight?
I think the school was nervous about all the wild people out in the audience. They wanted to keep it, you know, right on the schedule.
Yeah. It's really unusual. Change, I like it. It's a pretty mild crowd, actually.
Yeah, but you know, for UCLA, they look out there and see a few guys with blue hair that kind of freaks them out. You know, they don't know, they don't understand. And just the people who are putting on the show, you know, they don't know.
What are have you done many of the clubs in the LA area?
About all of them.
What do you like? Which clubs do you prefer?
To see and hear a band the best, just the facility, not the atmosphere, is the Roxy is the best, but we've never played there.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's not a bad seat in the house, and they got the best PA and the best monitors. It's the best stage for the band. So if a good band comes in there, like Bruce Springsteen, I heard him once live on the radio from there, and it was incredible. You know, I mean, it was great. And then the Whiskey has the next best stuff. And then a lot of the other ones just got shit, you know, and they know it, and the bands know it. But,
Yeah.
the Golden Bear is real good. They have good stuff.
Are you what's your connection with Steve Zepeda? Or is there one? Do you know who he is? He's the guy who I guess he manages the Plimsolls in the know. At least he seems to have, I think he runs the acts at the Nugget. I'm just wondering how you were set up for the Nugget show at Cal State Long Beach. Who arranged that? Oh, okay.
But I think I know Steve Zepeda. In fact, I'm sure I do. But I just, and if he works with the Plimsolls in the know, I must see him all the time, because I go see him play.
Well, Shelley does all your arranges these things though.
Well, we have an agent,
Yeah.
you know, who does all the live shows.
Okay. What Mike, I guess, wasn't really a singer, was he? Or is he? He just wrote songs and.
Burt Bacharach can't sing for shit either.
That's true. How do they decide on who's going to sing what if it's not written by the singers themselves? Like Jet Lag.
Well, Jet Lag, all three of us tried singing it, and I guess I sing it the best. Or Mike wanted me to sing it.
Yeah.
You know, out of this time, Steve wanted me to sing it. You know. I have a new song called America. It's going to be on our new album that I sing half of it, Steve sings half of it. You know, it's very dual lead, and when I wrote it, I kind of had that in mind. And so far, that's about how that comes out. You know. Otherwise, you can sing what you like.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Should we get through to 1438?
That's where I came from. 1430. What did you think about that single you did way back, 78?
Give It an All?
Bomb. Yeah.
Actually, that was done in, I think, 76.
76?
That's when we recorded it, and it came out like years and years later. I love it. I really still like that stuff. It was fun to do. We recorded it for literally nothing. people gave us the studio time just because they wanted to do it. But we did the basics in Tulsa and overdubs out here. In fact, right over there at United Western.
Yeah.
Late at night for free.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Did that Tingle do okay? Well, it was Irons in independent production.
As good as any ball record that
Yeah.
has. Helped us a lot. Helped us get signed.
Yeah. It's because it sounds so much different from the album, you know. It's
Yeah.
very basic 60s kind of rock notes.
Very old. Yeah. But it was done real, it was done the way we're going to do our new album. Not live album. It was done just set up in there and play and then sing.
So that gives me an idea of the kind of sound you want to go back to. Then.
Not really, because the songs are nothing like that.
Yeah, well, okay. But that kind of a...
That technique of
Yeah.
recording.
Okay. Oh, yeah, have you thought about going overseas, or is there any plans for that?
Yeah, March.
You gonna go to England? Or,
Yeah, we'll do about 10 dates.
how do you think they're gonna respond?
I have the slightest idea. I don't know. I've never really been too disappointed in an audience reaction, except when they just don't know us at all. But we're doing real good so far, and especially France and Holland. We got released on the 21st in Japan. Got a big push there. So we're doing real well in all those places.
That's good. And hopefully England. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know about England. We're making special plans for them.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough to crack.
Sure, I can see that, especially since it's so much of their own influences coming back at them.
Yeah.
And they might go, "Who are these guys giving us this shit?" But then again, they might not.
Okay. Are you gonna have any television appearances, like Midnight
Yeah,
Special? Or something?
yeah, we're on American Bandstand coming up real soon.
yeah?
We haven't shot it yet, but we shoot it, I think, in a couple of weeks, and it shows a couple of weeks after that.
Yeah, you gotta do that. What do you think about that, having the lip sync on the show?
We're getting good at it. I mean, you have to practice it to keep it from looking too stupid. But television, not to put them down, but the truth is television technicians, audio-wise, aren't sophisticated enough to reproduce sound.
Yeah, you got lousy sound anyway in
Yeah,
television.
I mean, they just can't do it. They don't understand, about, it's like an engineer in a recording studio. It's a very specialized thing, and the audio engineers in television don't have the foggiest. I mean, at least I've never heard them do it right. I mean, live recordings. I mean, live, like I saw Blondie play on Mike Douglas, and it was ridiculous. It was atrocious what they did to their music. You could tell they were playing good. They didn't have the slightest idea of what to do with it to make it sound good coming out of that little AM radio and speaker.
Yeah, that's one of the big problems. It's such a lousy speaker. Well, hopefully things are going to change in the 80s with stereo TV.
I hope so. If stereo TV happens, then rock and roll will take over the television airways. I just know it. Because the people who are the most into rock and roll are getting into the power positions, 24-year-old people right now were what? 11 when the Beatles came out, 10 when the Beatles came out, They're the ones that are coming into control now.
Yeah. The majority of the population, I guess. So, have you got anything else lined up besides American Bandstand for TV?
Hollywood Heartbeat.
Well, that's the show.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I fucking forgot.